Hi, welcome to the video for Goodwood Day 2, which is the Wednesday. I'm making the video on Tuesday morning. I don't know the fate of my second bet of the season, which was beat Le Bon in the 245 at Goodwood today at 25 to 1, 4 places each way. It was a small bet, and I don't bet very often, and only when I'm extremely confident or I feel I've got an extremely good value bet. Tomorrow, the Wednesday, I don't have anything as strong as those two bets, but I have selections, and I'll go through the four that I've picked out as the value, in my opinion, tomorrow. The first of those is in the second race, and it's Just Hubert at 16 to 1. I think he needs faster ground, which he might get tomorrow. He's been held up a little bit too far out of his ground in the last two occasions for me. Tom Marquand rides tomorrow, and I think he'll have the horse a little bit closer up. And I think with the faster ground, he might just give us a very good run for our money at 16 to 1. I think he's slightly overpriced. He's not vastly overpriced, but he's slightly overpriced. And I think he's a value selection in the second race. In the third race, I love when I watch a horse and I think, wow, that was impressive. And it's a shame that he's gone. The horse I watched and thought that about has gone into a race like this, because there's dangers everywhere, and the dangers are the two Johnson horses. The King's Caper's 20 to 1, and he was second in the Italian Derby. Glen Ties is a very good horse who's 6 to 1, and he's the ideal sort of Johnson type for a Goodwood handicap, because Johnson's runners at Goodwood and in the handicaps in general are very, very difficult to beat. So they're very good horses. You've also got a horse from Roger Charlton's Win O'Clock, and Charlton's yard is starting to really roll now. But the horse I just thought wow about, and I can't desert him because of it, is Carlos Felix of David Simcox. He won against a horse who finished third to Khalifa Set, who was second in the Derby, and Calistran, and he was third to Khalifa Set at Goodwood. And Carlos Felix went past him like he was a tree. And I just thought, wow, and he's gone up £10, Carlos Felix, but for me, he'd have gone up 2 stone if I'd been the handicapper for that performance. I was really impressed with him. But obviously there's dangers everywhere, but I have to put him up as a selection at 11 to 2. He'd be my selection in the third race. In the fourth race, the Malcolm's probably my strongest fancy of the day, and that's on the Steel Bull. Michael O'Callaghan's 2-year-old, who came out at Naas in his first race and absolutely routed a field, and he was so professional, he was so impressive. I just loved his performance. I thought he'd be favourite for this. I know he's running against good horses from big yards, and that's probably why he isn't favourite, because he's from the smaller yard. But Colin Keane's going to ride him, and I just was so impressed with him first time out. I think 6 to 1 on him is a big price. I would not have him at 6 to 1. He'd be my 7 to 2, 4 to 1 favourite, to be honest. I like this horse. I wouldn't put him up as a bet, because he is going up in grade, and that's why he's not an actual bet for the videos, but he's definitely my strongest selection of the day. I like this horse. I think he's very good, and I think he's going in here a bit underestimated because he's from a smaller yard in Ireland. But I think you could see something quite special tomorrow. Well, I hope so. I'd like to think he's better than a 6 to 1 shot, and I think he'll give everything something to think about tomorrow. The Sussex Stakes is a race that everyone's looking forward to. I go round in circles with it a little bit. I think Siskin is a little bit underpriced, because I'm not sure the Irish 2000 was that great a race. I think Mohather is a little bit underpriced because he's been overrated a little bit from that summer mile at Ascot. I don't like Circus Maximus, but not many people do. But he keeps winning, and in Group 1, so he's clearly a good horse. Wichita, I'm not convinced by the British 2,000 guineas form, and that sort of goes with Comico as well. I think Vatican City might be a little bit overpriced, but I ended up just going round and round and round in circles and thinking, no, there's no bet in here for me. There's not even really a selection in here. And so, sadly, on the race of the day, I don't really have too much of a view. And it's fairly similar for the next couple of races. And the last selection I've got is another value selection, a bit like Just Hubert. And that's in the last race. And this horse is running against some of the top yards in the country. John Gosden's horse, Verbatim. And there's Michael Stout's got a horse in the race. Roger Varian's got a horse in the race. But they all seem quite badly drawn to me. And although this is a small yard, the horse won the race last year for Richard Hannon. He's now running for Tom Ward. I think he'll be a decent price tomorrow. He might be 12 or 14 to 1. Now, he won at stall 1 last year, and he's drawn stall 4 this year. I just think with Tom Marquand booked and his mark back to 87 where he won from last season, he could be well handicapped. There is a chance that one of these top yards horses could be 10, 15 pounds well in and rout this field. But I think Dirty Rascal has got a serious chance of 87 tomorrow. And if you can get 12, 14 to 1, 5 places, I'd certainly say that he'll give you a pretty serious run for your money. Like I've said, none of these are bets out of my bank. They're my selections. If you'd want me to rank them in order, I would say probably my strongest fancy would be Still Bull. The second strongest fancy would probably be Carlos Felix, then Dirty Rascal, and then Just Hubert. I may play them in a lucky 15. I may have a few pound each way on a couple of them. But they're certainly not bets out of my bank. But they are my selections. I've done the research. I think Steel Bull could be a lot better than he's been thought about at 6 to 1. But then again, I could have that all wrong. And these are only my views on these videos. So, I hope you enjoyed day 1. On day 2, let's hope Beat Le Bon does something for our bank. But enjoy the racing. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with day 3's video tomorrow. Bye for now.